Hello friends, welcome to Autism Awareness Program, and this video we are going to talk of virtual autism. So friends, what is virtual autism? Now many parents are getting confused between virtual autism and classic autism. So friend, what is autism? We have explained in our previous videos. Now when you see autism because of excessive exposure to screen time, this is what we called as virtual autism, because this autism is caused mainly because of an exposure to excessive screen time. Now why does an excessive exposure to screen time leads to autistic symptoms or leads to symptoms where the child is not making an eye contact? So friends, whenever a child grows and whenever the child starts learning things, he uses all his seven senses to learn things. He uses his visual sense, his auditory sense, his oral sense, touch sense, proprioception, vestibular, and all these senses are used when the child grows up and he is exposed to various stimuli in the environment and he is learning. So the child, when he grows up, during the development, there is a lot of learning happening. But during pandemic, what happened was that this learning was limited. The child was confined to home and he was given screen time, which the child were taking almost 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours a day. They were constantly on screen. And friends, what was happening is that in the screen time, when the child was observing screen for such a long time, for 5 hours, 6 hours, only two senses were getting exposed. Two senses were getting hyper exposed. That means the visual was getting constantly exposed, constantly being stimulated by the colors and by the bright light of the mobile. And auditory, because there was constantly an audio going on, constantly the rhymes going on, especially the cocomelon rhymes, constantly the auditory senses were also getting hyper stimulated. At the same time, the other senses like the touch, like the vestibular, where the proprioception, which is more done when the child is running. So when the child is running, the vestibular and proprioception senses are getting stimulated. But here in this case, only two senses were getting hyper stimulated, the visual and the auditory, whereas the other senses were not getting properly proportionately stimulated. So there was an imbalance. Two senses were getting hyper stimulated, other senses were getting hypostimulated. They were not getting stimulated at all. And that imbalance led to confusion in the brain, and the synaptic pruning, which should start, did not start because the channels were not getting properly channelized. And hence, the autism, which is called as because of excessive exposure to screen time, is called as virtual autism. Whenever you see a child of autism, two senses are very most affected, the auditory and the visual. When the visual is affected, the child does a lot of hand movements or does a lot of corner eye looking, or a lot of visual stimulus are there. And when the auditory is imbalanced, then the child is either closing his ears or he is making constant noise. I hope friends you realize now why excessive exposure to screen is leading to autism, and this is called as virtual autism.